The year is 2026. You might think you've mastered the airport game, that your tried and true routines are unshakable. Think again. The landscape of air travel has shifted dramatically, folks, and clinging to old habits can land you in a frustrating, expensive bind. Just ask Sarah Jenkins, a marketing executive from Seattle. She considered herself a seasoned pro, a frequent flyer who'd logged hundreds of thousands of miles with her trusty carry-on. But last month, on May 15th, at Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport, DFW, Sarah's confidence collided head-on with a tough new reality. Her story isn't just a cautionary tale. It's a vital blueprint for the savvy traveler navigating the modern airport. Today, we're breaking down 5 critical lessons from Sarah's ordeal. Lesson number 5. The shifting sands of carry-on standards. Many travelers firmly believe their dependable carry-on, the one that served them faithfully for years, is a lifetime pass. Sarah Jenkins quickly learned otherwise. Strolling through the bustling TSA pre-check lane at DFW, she felt that familiar hum of efficiency. Her bag, a sleek, soft-sided roller, had always glided through, its green light a silent affirmation of her savvy packing skills. But as she approached the newly installed, sleek, black, automated sizer, a piece of impersonal futuristic art in itself, something felt off. The reassuring green light she'd always seen now flashed an angry, insistent red. Her heart gave a little lurch. A stern, impassive voice, synthesized yet firm, echoed from the nearby station where TSA Agent Miller stood. "Ma'am," the voice intoned, "your bag exceeds the new standard overhead bin dimensions. It's 23 inches tall." A flush crept up Sarah's neck. Here's the stark truth. The new standard isn't just about length. It's about every single dimension, down to the last fraction of an inch. The universal limit, enforced with growing uniformity across major U.S. carriers, is now a strict 22 inches tall, 14 inches wide, and 9 inches deep. And that absolutely includes all wheels, handles, and external pockets. Sarah's 23-inch bag, once perfectly acceptable, was now an inch too long. That single inch suddenly felt like a mile. Are you absolutely certain your bag measures up? A few minutes with a tape measure at home can make all the difference between smooth sailing and a sudden, unwelcome stop. Don't rely on old labels or past experiences. Verify. Lesson number 4. The impersonal eye of the automated sizer. Forget the old metal boxes where you could sometimes wiggle your bag in with a little elbow grease. Airport technology has evolved, and it's not always on your side if you're caught unprepared. Sarah, still trying to process the glaring red light, instinctively started her defense. "But it's always fit. I've flown with this bag 100 times. Agent Miller, a stoic presence behind the advanced CT scanning equipment, didn't engage in debate. He simply gestured to a vivid, high-definition digital display mounted right next to the sizer. On it, Sarah's bag was rendered in real time, an infuriatingly precise overlay showing its exact dimensions, highlighting the offending 23 inches in stark red against the green 22-inch guideline. The machine was the judge, the jury, and there was no appealing its cold, hard verdict. It wasn't about leniency or understanding. It was about objective data. This is precisely where the smart traveler strategy comes into play. Don't debate the machine, because it genuinely doesn't care about your feelings or your past flights. The cold, hard logic of these automated sizers, which are fast becoming standard at airports nationwide, leaves no room for negotiation. Instead, double-check your bag at home. Many savvy travelers even seek out the airline-specific sizers at the check-in counter before they ever get to security. Think of them as practice tests. A quick, proactive check can save you from public frustration and precious time lost in a bottlenecked security line. Remember, technology aims for efficiency, but it demands precision from us. Lesson number 3. The painful sting of unforeseen fees. An unexpected fee can derail your travel budget faster than a sudden bout of turbulence. As the reality of her oversized bag settled in, Agent Miller delivered the next blow with the same calm, unyielding tone. "You have 2 options, ma'am. You can check the bag now for a $75 oversized carry-on fee, or you can attempt to consolidate your items into your personal item." Sarah's stomach dropped like a stone. $75! This wasn't just an inconvenience. It was a significant hit to her meticulously planned travel expenses. The humiliation deepened as she watched other travelers, some with sleek, newly purchased 2026 compliant luggage, glide through the automated sizer with satisfying green flashes, totally oblivious to her stressful predicament. The contrast was stark, and it hammered home the true cost of her complacency. This is a critical point. Familiarize yourself with your specific airline's baggage fee structure before you even leave your driveway. These fees can vary wildly, typically ranging anywhere from $35 to $100 for an oversized carry-on, depending on the airline and your frequent flyer status. A quick visit to their official website can literally save you a bundle. Many airlines now publish detailed visual guides to their current carry-on and personal item policies. Don't assume, know. Knowledge of potential charges is your best defense against budget shocks and airport anxiety. Lesson number 2. The art of the airport repack. The personal item lifeline. When travel plans go sideways, quick thinking and a strategically packed personal item become your absolute best friends. Faced with the $75 fee, Sarah reluctantly chose the consolidation route. Behind her, the security line, which had been flowing smoothly thanks to the advanced CT scanning technology, quickly began to bottleneck. The impatient sighs of fellow travelers were a silent but palpable pressure. She fumbled through her once perfectly organized carry-on, frantically trying to decide what was essential enough to cram into her small backpack, her designated personal item, and what could be sacrificed to the checked bag. Her laptop, important documents, prescription medication, and that new paperback novel she'd been saving all became part of a desperate mental triage. The frustration was real, the anxiety mounting. Here's a pro tip that could literally save your sanity. Always pack a personal item survival kit. This isn't just about throwing things in. It's about strategic planning. Ensure all critical items, medication, essential electronics, charging cables, travel documents, valuables, and even a spare change of clothes are packed in a personal item that you know, without a shadow of a doubt, will fit comfortably under the seat in front of you. This guarantees you access to your necessities, even if your main carry-on has to be gate-checked, or worse, checked unexpectedly at the security checkpoint. A little foresight with your personal item can save you from airport chaos and the sheer panic of an unexpected repack. What would you grab first if you had to downsize in 2 minutes? Lesson number 1. Adapting to the new era of air travel. The biggest lesson from Sarah's experience, and frankly from this entire industry-wide shift, is simple. The travel game has fundamentally changed, and old habits simply won't fly anymore. After a harried 5 minutes of shifting clothes, toiletries, and paperwork, Sarah finally managed to consolidate her most crucial items. With a sigh of resignation, she handed her once reliable carry-on over to Agent Miller to be tagged for checked baggage. As she watched it disappear down the conveyor belt, she felt a pang of defeat, but also a stark, eye-opening realization. Her old ways of packing and approaching airport security were utterly obsolete. The line behind her slowly started moving again, but the lesson was etched deeply into her memory. To avoid Sarah's fate and ensure your future journeys are stress-free, here's your ultimate move. Invest in 2026 compliant luggage if you travel frequently. The reality is grim for older bags. Studies show that over 60% of popular carry-on bags sold before these new, stricter standards won't pass muster today. Look for bags explicitly advertised as meeting the new 22 by 14 by 9-inch guidelines. Furthermore, make it a steadfast habit to regularly check the official websites of your chosen airline and the TSA for any policy updates before every single trip. These rules aren't static, and staying informed is your best defense. Adapting and staying informed means a smoother, less stressful journey for everyone. What's your go-to strategy for staying compliant? Share your tips in the comments. The more we know, the better we all travel. The rhythmic thwack, thwack of Robert Sterling's well-worn loafers against the polished concrete of Denver International's Concourse B usually brought a quiet sense of mastery. A seasoned consultant, Robert prided himself on his minimalist travel approach. A smart, sleek backpack, never a checked bag, even for a week-long stint in Albuquerque. He was an apostle of efficiency, a master of the light and smart philosophy, gliding past the harried masses wrestling with oversized luggage. He held his digital boarding pass aloft, a familiar QR code glowing on his phone, as he approached gate B38 for his regional connecting flight. Today, however, the universe had other plans for Robert's meticulously crafted system. He tapped his phone to the scanner, the green light blinking its usual approval. But as he instinctively placed his backpack onto the small, integrated scale beside the reader, an unexpected alert flashed across the screen. Personal item overweight. His stomach clenched. He glanced at the digital readout. 25 pounds. A stark, unforgiving red warning appeared directly below it. Limit 17 pounds. 8 pounds over. For his personal item. This wasn't some overhead behemoth. This was his carefully curated mobile office, his command center on the go. Gate Agent Hernandez, a woman with a no-nonsense bun and eyes that had cataloged every conceivable travel mishap, cleared her throat. Her voice, though calm, cut through the gate area's low hum. "Looks like we have a slight issue here, Mr. Sterling," she said, her finger gently pointing at the flashing red display. "This regional flight has a stricter policy on personal items. It's also looking a bit too bulky for the underseat compartment, which for this aircraft is an exact 18 inches long, 14 inches wide, and 8 inches deep." She gestured to a metal sizer near her feet, an ominous cage of steel. Robert felt a wave of disbelief wash over him. He'd painstakingly researched the new 22 by 14 by 9-inch carry-on limits, even updated his main travel bag. But a personal item weight limit? But it's just my laptop, a tablet, my e-reader, and some work documents, he stammered, his usual composure cracking under the pressure. These are essentials. I always bring this. Rules change, Mr. Sterling, Agent Hernandez replied, her gaze unwavering. Especially on regional jets. Smaller planes mean less space, and every pound affects fuel efficiency and weight distribution. It's not just about the overhead bins anymore. It's about what goes under the seat, too. Are you prepared to check that bag, or will you need to redistribute some items? The phrase, redistribute some items, hung in the air like a final judgment, a death knell for his streamlined approach. Robert looked around the crowded gate. Boarding for Zone 2 had just been called, and a line of eager passengers, their own compliant bags tucked neatly away, now snaked behind him. The thought of checking his backpack, his laptop with its data unbacked up, and sensitive client files, sent a cold shiver down his spine. No, checking it was not an option. He had to think fast, but his mind felt like a stuck propeller, spinning uselessly. This is where the smart traveler part of the equation truly kicks in. Many passengers, caught in this exact squeeze, would argue, plead, or even outright fight the agent. But Robert, despite his inner turmoil, knew that kindness and efficiency were his only allies now. He took a deep breath. "No, thank you. I'll redistribute," he managed, his voice tighter than he'd intended. He unzipped his backpack, revealing the organized chaos within. His premium noise-canceling headphones, normally a travel luxury, suddenly felt like lead weights. His heavy-duty power bank, essential for long flights, now seemed like an anchor. He pulled out a bulky travel guide, a thick novel, and a full water bottle he'd bought post-security. These were his non-essentials. Where to put them? His overcoat had generously sized pockets, a happy coincidence he usually took for granted. He shoved the book into one, the headphones into another, making the coat bulge in an uncomfortably lopsided fashion. The power bank went into a front pocket, creating a noticeable lump. His laptop, a sleek but surprisingly heavy 15-inch model, remained. His tablet, though lighter, was also indispensable. He felt the critical glance of Agent Hernandez. The pressure mounted as more passengers squeezed past, some offering sympathetic smiles, others annoyed glares. This wasn't just a logistical problem. It was an embarrassing public display of non-compliance. After a frantic minute, he placed the backpack back on the scale. 21 pounds. Still too much. His brow furrowed. What else? He remembered the small bag of trail mix he'd packed, his travel-sized toiletries, and a spare pair of glasses. He pulled them out, stuffing the toiletries into another coat pocket, the trail mix into a pant pocket. The spare glasses, surprisingly, were a lighter burden. He tried again. 18 pounds. Closer. So close, yet still over the 17-pound threshold. The underseat sizer was still a concern, too. His backpack, though now lighter, retained its rigid structure, making it a tight fit. The internal framework of the bag itself, he realized, was contributing to the bulk. This was a battle on two fronts, weight and dimension, both now ruthlessly enforced. This scene, playing out daily in airports across the country, highlights a fundamental shift. It's not enough to assume your trusty personal item will always pass muster. The wise traveler, the best fast traveler, knows to check the specific airline's rules and their specific aircraft type for every single trip. A quick visit to the airline's website or a glance at their mobile app can save you from Robert's gate-side scramble. Were you aware of these stricter personal item limits, especially on regional flights? Many aren't until it's too late. Robert, feeling the hot flush of embarrassment, quickly unzipped a small side pocket he usually reserved for gum. Out came a small metal travel mug, empty, thankfully, but still contributing weight. He put it back in his backpack, deciding to just hold it through boarding, and then retrieve it post-boarding. It was a desperate measure. One final attempt on the scale. 16.5 pounds. Success! The screen flashed green. A small, relieved sigh escaped him. The backpack, now a little less rigid from the removal of some items, slid into the sizer with a firm push. It fit, just barely. Agent Hernandez offered a faint, approving nod. "The sky favors the prepared, Mr. Sterling. Every pound counts now, and every inch." She handed him back his boarding pass. "Have a good flight." As Robert walked down the jet bridge, his coat bulging awkwardly, he felt a profound, almost primal sense of defeat mixed with a stark lesson learned. His old ways of light and smart packing had been blindsided. The rules weren't just for overhead bags anymore, but for everything brought on board. This wasn't about fighting the system. It was about understanding its evolving parameters. A little preparation, a quick check of the latest restrictions, could have saved him this humiliating public spectacle. Knowledge, he decided, was truly the ultimate carry-on. What adjustments are you making to keep up with these ever-changing limits? Months after Robert's humbling lesson in carry-on weight, a new kind of invisible tripwire waited, poised to ensnare even the most tech-savvy travelers. Are you positive your cutting-edge carry-on won't become an expensive liability at the security checkpoint? Many aren't, until the moment of truth hits. Evelyn Hayes, a software developer from Austin, Texas, navigated the bustling concourse of Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport, ATL, with the practiced stride of a seasoned traveler. Her destination? An international tech conference across the Atlantic. Evelyn prided herself on being an early adopter. Her smart carry-on luggage, a sleek, matte black roller with a built-in charging system and a discreet GPS tracker, was a testament to her always-prepared ethos. She'd bought it 2 years ago, a premium model promising seamless connectivity. As she approached the security checkpoint, a digital sign above the advanced CT scanner flashed warnings about lithium-ion battery regulations and removable power banks. She barely registered it, confident her bag was fully compliant. It had flown dozens of times without a hitch. Her bag glided smoothly onto the conveyor belt, disappearing into the humming maw of the scanner. Evelyn, already reaching for her shoes and laptop, felt a prickle of unease as the belt ground to a sudden halt. A moment later, a sharp, insistent red alert flashed on the monitor above the machine. Her heart gave a little jump. "Ma'am?" Evelyn turned to face TSA Officer Johnson, a man in his late 40s with a kind but utterly firm demeanor. His gaze, however, was fixed not on her, but on the intricate image displayed on his screen. "Is this your bag?" he asked, indicating a detailed, almost X-ray-like rendering of her smart carry-on. She nodded, a tight knot forming in her stomach. "Could you please step over to the battery check station?" He gestured towards a designated area, complete with a small workbench and a clear acrylic shield displaying various battery types. Evelyn's mind raced. Battery check? I've never had this happen. She followed, her pride in her smart gear quickly fading into a cold dread. Officer Johnson efficiently retrieved her bag. "Ma'am, is the battery in this device removable?" he asked, his voice calm, professional. Evelyn stammered. It's an older model. It's integrated. It's a power bank for charging my devices." A flush rose to her cheeks. She loved her bag precisely because everything was built in, no fumbling for extra gadgets. Officer Johnson sighed, a small, almost imperceptible sound of resigned patience. "I understand. Many travelers are caught off guard by these updated regulations. For safety, especially on international flights, all smart luggage with lithium-ion batteries over a certain wattage must have a removable power source, and any battery over 160 watt-hours, or WH, is completely prohibited from both carry-on and checked baggage, period. Yours appears to be over 100 W-hours, which requires airline approval and must be easily removable for inspection." He paused, letting the gravity of the statement sink in. "No removable battery, no boarding for that device. Simple as that." A chilling realization washed over Evelyn. Her expensive bag, her efficient travel companion, was now a potential anchor. She calculated the WH in her head. She remembered it was right around 120 W-hours, definitely over the 100 W-hour threshold. Airline approval was one thing, but removable? She had always assumed integrated meant safe and sound. "But I've flown with it before, dozens of times," Evelyn protested, her voice tight with rising panic. Her flight to Frankfurt was boarding in less than 45 minutes. Officer Johnson merely offered a sympathetic shrug. "Regulations evolve, ma'am. We've seen a significant increase in thermal events related to integrated batteries. The rules are designed to protect everyone on board." He gestured to a digital display on the counter. "See here? Smart luggage with non-removable batteries is prohibited as carry-on or checked baggage. It's a key safety measure." Evelyn felt a profound sense of despair. Ditching her bag meant losing her carefully packed essentials, missing her flight, and a significant financial hit. What was she supposed to do? Leave her bag here? Her eyes darted around the busy terminal, a blur of hurried passengers and flashing screens. Her gaze landed on the bag itself, specifically the underside, near the handle. Tucked away, almost hidden by a small fabric flap, she saw a tiny, embossed label she'd never noticed before. It read, "Retrofit Kit, Removable Power System. See instructions for access." A retrofit kit? A flicker of hope ignited. She vaguely recalled the sales pitch mentioning it, a future-proofing feature. But she'd dismissed it as unnecessary at the time. "Officer," she practically pleaded, pointing to the label, It says there's a removable power system. I don't know how to access it." Officer Johnson leaned in, his expression softening slightly. "Well, let's see. Many manufacturers are making these adjustments. If you can remove it, you can keep the bag." With shaky hands, Evelyn fumbled for the small zipper pull hidden beneath the flap. She unzipped a short seam, revealing a narrow compartment. Inside, nestled securely, was the battery pack, connected by a single sturdy cable. Her fingers trembled as she tried to disconnect it. It wasn't designed for quick access, but for a one-time modification. Officer Johnson, observing her struggle, offered a small screwdriver from a nearby toolkit.
"Sometimes a little leverage helps," he said gently. With newfound determination, Evelyn worked at the connection. The clock on the nearby gate monitor was ticking relentlessly, each second tightening the vise around her chest. A small metallic click echoed in the tense silence as the connection finally separated. She pulled out the battery pack, a rectangular slab, surprisingly heavy. "There," she gasped, holding it up like a trophy. Officer Johnson nodded, a genuine smile now gracing his face. "Excellent, ma'am. Now, that battery pack needs to go in your personal item, directly under your seat, or carried separately. But it cannot stay in the bag itself if the bag goes into the overhead bin." He handed her a clear plastic bag. "Place it in here, please." Evelyn quickly placed the liberated battery into her smaller laptop case, which she would stash under the seat. Her smart luggage, now officially dumb but compliant, passed through the scanner without incident this time. She grabbed her belongings, a wave of exhaustion washing over her. "Thank you, officer," she mumbled, genuinely grateful. "Just remember," he advised, "knowledge makes travel better. Always check the latest airline and TSA guidelines before you pack, especially for anything with a battery. These rules are for everyone's safety." Evelyn practically sprinted down the jet bridge, her once pristine smart bag now a symbol of frantic, last-minute adaptation. She barely made it onto the plane before the door closed. Settling into her seat, she took a deep, shuddering breath. The incident was a harsh, undeniable lesson in staying updated, even for someone as tech-savvy as she was. Adaptability, not just advanced technology, was indeed the new currency of travel. The skies, she realized, truly favor the prepared, especially those who know the critical details about their smart devices. How current are you on the rules for your gadgets?